Alrighty, here we go. We got another week started. Another one getting ready to start. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot of things I'm even questioning whether we should talk about, but at the same time, they're headlines. They're important. People need to know these things. I'm Rick Antonio, in for Rick Antonio's NewsTalk report. We have Tyler CK standing by. Thank you again for joining us today. Yeah. We got a little bit about what's going on in music. We got a little bit of social life. We got a little bit of drama and children's stuff today. So, not to focus on children's stuff, but it's there. So, first, let's start off. How was your week so far?
It wasn't too bad.
That's good. Managed to
Mostly just work.
good. Well, you got to pay the bills. I know that's what I'm working on doing. It takes time, takes money, but money takes money sometimes. You got to spend money to make money. Let's jump right into our first topic. We both talked about it beforehand, and we were both saddened to hear it. A 28-year career already ended. I mean, it feels like they've been around forever. Daft Punk, a lot of people say sci-fi aesthetic and pop transformed electronic music. The French duo have called it quits. And again, myself working at a radio station, it's like, well, how do you get rid of one of the bigger names in that genre? And we could talk about other genres and having to deal with the endings of their whatever. But Daft Punk, again, calling it quits after 28 years. I was talking to a buddy at work, and they said that they could have tried to make it to a 30-year anniversary and call it quits then, a farewell tour, that sort of thing. But I guess they're not exactly hurting for money if they can just call it quits like right then and there. So
I mean, I doubt they've been hurting for money
no,
for many, many years now.
no. I mean,
I
they've
know
got
it seemed like they took a nice break for a while
yeah,
and
and
came back and made a couple more albums. And
call me out of the loop, but did they just now reveal who they were? Because
I didn't even see if they actually revealed who they were.
Yeah, it says the breakup marks the end of a 28-year partnership between Thomas Bangalter and Guy Manuel de Homem Cristo. Again, this all coming from the Guardian.
Those names, those were their names.
Those were out. Okay, well, I haven't looked around too much for pictures to see if they've been without their helmets, but I don't really want to.
No, as far as I know, they haven't shown themselves without their helmets before, but if those aren't their actual names, then those are the names that they used.
Yeah, at least
for
to
those
protect themselves,
characters.
sort of thing. I mean, a lot of people were calling it when they first started Daft Punky Trash, and that's one way to pick a name. Just go with what the haters are saying. I mean, they were pretty good in the UK top 10 for a while, and they released their debut album Homework 1997, and that puts me at 3. You're just showing my age already, inexperience. They were very rarely pictured together, very rarely seen in their music videos, and they wrote the entire soundtrack for the Tron movie that recently came out. I mean, however recently you can call it. But things like that, they just been doing a lot of partnerships. They helped produce, the title track of The Weeknd's hit album Starboy in 2016. He just did the Super Bowl this year. We're gonna get one of these weeks by without talking about that damn game. Probably eventually.
I mean, we're not talking about the game itself right now. We're just talking
guess
about the halftime show.
Yeah. But they've also helped out other stars like Kanye West, who is also in the news today. We've got him coming up in a bit, but he sampled Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger for his album, for his single, Stronger, before recruiting them to co-produce 4 tracks on his 2013 Yeezus album. The group has been nominated for 12 Grammy Awards, winning 6 of them. That's 6 more than I've got.
Yeah, it's also 12 times more that they've been nominated.
Oh, yeah, and the 4 of those wins came from their 2013 album Random Access Memories and Get Lucky, including Record and record and album of the year. Now, was it the album Random Access Memories, or was that one of the singles on it? That was the album name too.
That was the album name
Okay.
of their newest one, I believe.
Yeah, so they got that for album and record of the year. They were involved in a number of films. Like I said, Tron Legacy in 2010 and Electroma. I've never heard of that one before, but you know they tend to not be too on the beaten path in the first place. I mean, they've got One More Time hitting number 2 in the UK back in was it 2001? Or is my math off there? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Everything's a blur.
Well, I mean, I can imagine looking through those helmets nowadays. That would be quite the blur. But that's something to remember. And I really, Random Access Memories was one of the first albums. I don't want to say one of the first, but it was far and few between that I'll actually pay for an album on iTunes. I won't spread. I mean, there were a couple Eminem albums I picked up, but Random Access Memories was one of the first ones that I actually paid for. We mentioned Kanye West, and I know you're not too interested in the story, but a lot of the country is, and that's Kanye true. West is in the news within the last week or so. I mean, the article I've got from ET Entertainment Tonight says it was at least updated today. According to, Entertainment Tonight, Kim Kardashian West and Kanye West, they filed for divorce. I'm trying to remember who filed for what, but the divorce, according to ET, is going to be amicable. And they've got a prenup already in place between the two, and they're seeking joint custody and legal custody. Joint and legal custody. I didn't know there was, of their 4 children. They've got 7-year-old North, a 5-year-old Saint, 3-year-old Chicago, and 1-year-old Psalm, Psalm, like in the book. Kim is being represented by celebrity divorce attorney Laura Wasser, and the documents were officially filed February 22nd with Kim citing irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. The date of the separation is listed as to be determined. So I guess they could keep it up in the air forever if that's the case.
That's true. I mean, as much as I don't really care about either of them, I am happy to see that everything is at least good between them with this.
If not for them, for the kids, because
when you
got 4 kids,
I really don't give a crap about them themselves. If they split for themselves or with them, doing their own thing, that's whatever. I don't care.
My question is, how did it not happen sooner?
Yeah, but I am very happy that it's at least going to be
peaceful,
good, peaceful. And that they're not trying to fight each other for any custody or anything like that. It's just like hey, we both want shared and joint custody.
Some of these
everything's just clear.
Yeah, some of these celebrity divorces are they can be messy.
Yeah, so I do give them both respect for that.
Yeah,
for being
they're trying at least. I mean, they've been trying this entire time to not make it, whether it's about the divorce or whatever else, make it about them, which is ironic, when you got your show saying keeping up with your, ET says, according to the prenup, and all assets and obligations of each party are his/her separate property. Kim's also asking the court to terminate its ability to award spousal support, so they're not going to have to pay child support to each other, which they're multi-million, billion trillionaires. I mean, they shouldn't have to worry about that. They should be sitting pretty either way.
But it's still it does set a good precedence for like anyone who is a fan of my marriage might be going to crap, but if we can work together,
and we won't talk about Kanye's antics over the last 5 or 6 years, but let's jump from splitting parents to angry parents. The school board members apparently kept their microphone on or started their school board meeting stream a bit early in the San Francisco area, according to The Hill. Members of a San Francisco area school board are being called to resign, and if I'm not mistaken, in another article I read that most of them have already resigned, about making derogatory remarks about parents. And one of those remarks, I've got it right here for you if you want to hear it.
You know, they forget that there's real people on the other side of those letters that they're writing.
Yes.
We're real community members. We have kids or have known kids that have gone to these schools.
Okay.
Right.
Have a vested interest in this process.
Okay.
And they don't know what we
Right.
do behind the scenes. And it's really unfortunate
Exactly.
that they want to pick on us because they want their babysitters back.
Oh, well then. Okay then. Just putting it out there like that, that's very bluntly just saying, hey, we don't want to go back to school. And I understand the world going on right now. School, maybe not the best place to be to just cram a whole bunch of people into a classroom. But, there's a nicer way to say it.
Like, overall, I do hope that kids can get back into schools.
And don't get me wrong,
But-
teachers get the short end of the stick all the time.
Oh, yeah.
From
100%.
funding and actual equipment and outdated
But there's
books
definitely a
and-
better way to go about saying
Yeah,
any
you
of
don't
that.
you don't say babysitters. As many as I'm sure a lot of them feel like it, and evidently that's what they're saying they feel like in this case. There's other ways to go about it, and the remark, it did get quite a bit of attention. I'm looking at this on the Oakley Elementary School Board meeting. I'm trying to see if that'll pull up on is this their YouTube page? No, it's not theirs, but it's got almost 1 million views already on YouTube. And that's just on Joe Blow's YouTube page. I mean, there's official sources. Like I was saying, we've got it from The Hill, and it's been all over all sorts of other news outlets. Those have got to have millions and millions of views by now. So if you're not in the San Francisco area school district, then you've got to, you probably still heard it. It's upsetting a lot of people.
And I would definitely be upset if I managed to hear the teachers talk about me and my children like that.
I think that's the big issue, is they're talking about the parents. If you say, oh, I feel like a babysitter versus they want their babysitters back, that's kind of two different discussions. But then there was another one on the school board. It was earlier in there, and I didn't air it because of the language in it, but they're outright threatening parents that are writing nasty letters to the school district. And I understand you don't want nasty letters. I understand you don't want criticism or this or that, or the letters themselves might not be that nice, but outright threatening, that's setting up grounds for I mean the quote, B, if you're going to call me out, I'm going to F you up. That was another school board member towards the parents. And at the same time, this is the epitome of, oops, my mic was on. Oops, they heard me say hot mic. So
But at the same time, I do agree that the parents need to cut the teachers a lot more slack.
Oh, the teachers need to be cut a lot of slack. These teachers in particular, maybe not, but
Yeah, these couple of them seem like they're super fed up with everything.
as we
but
all are.
They're not really helping the situation by
No.
talking like that.
Being combative and being obstructive are not helpful to any situation. And
No.
when you're trying to get kids back to school, I understand remote learning's not the favorite thing. And there was actually something else that I meant to pull up. There was a girl. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. She found a loophole in Zoom to get out of class. Let's put it that way. Remote learning isn't exactly hitting the nail on the head in all cases. Don't get me wrong.
Like,
If it was
I
up to me,
understand that it's not ideal. It's just certain things are better than others, I guess.
yeah. And I would have loved to have had all my university classes remotely online, but at the same time, now I'm seeing the stresses of people that are still in school, that are still in university level courses, dealing with difficulties of the remote learning. So it's just it's getting out there. I'll say that. So
It's one of those things of you really need like a minimum of 2 monitors so that you can do your work on one screen, but then your professor can like screen share
yeah, and you've
to the
got
other screen, so you can kind of see what you're supposed to do
while
if it's
you're
something that you're using a computer to do your work.
yeah.
If it's stuff that's just like they would just write it on the board normally,
Yeah, that's
the
one
best they
screen
can do
and your notebook's the
is
other.
just put a PDF file or something
Yeah.
in,
I
and
mean,
that's not going to be crazy helpful,
going
but
back to the OG
it'd still be helpful.
classroom, like you said, they're writing on the board, you're writing in the notebook. The screen one, screen two, buddy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's and the article, this is a it looks like this article's a bit older because like I was saying, some of them were resigning. The petition, a petition as of the writing of the article calling for them to resign had gained more than 5,000 signatures. Let me click on this link to see where they're at. This is saying they are up to 8,642 registered signees on that petition calling for them to resign. And it looks like an update on it. First up, this is all on change.org. Update, the board resigned from their position, so it worked. So,
Like to an extent, I don't truly feel that they should have had to resign. I think it should have just been like they give an open apology, every single person involved,
yeah, something like
and they just kind of ask for the parents to be a bit more supportive because yeah, they don't
support is what they should
they,
be looking for.
they don't get the pay that they deserve.
No, they don't get the supplies they
And
deserve. You
they
don't
don't
get
get the support they deserve.
any
Like they don't
anything.
get anything that they deserve. All they get are parents being upset because their kid isn't doing well.
Right. And while it's easy for us to see it from both sides, you got parents that are it's like, oh, well, they told me to F off. They told me this. They told me that. They're threatening me with this. That's another way to look at it, too, is you shouldn't have to worry about your teachers being intimidating.
Right.
So I can, there's several angles to this we can take it from. While we're on the
9
topic,
times out of 10, if someone's telling you to F off, it's because you did or said something that deserved them saying you should F off.
50-50 on that. But while we're on the topic of schools, home state of Michigan, let's talk about some closures of universities, not the university, but rather the library on it. There were venomous spiders found in the University of Michigan library. The staff at the Shapiro undergraduate library, they closed the library for 2 days after 3 Mediterranean recluse spiders were found in a storage area.
These Mediterranean ones, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, now we're getting into spicy. The Mediterranean recluse spiders were found in late January in the, again, Shapiro undergraduate library's basement storage area on the Ann Arbor campus. They reopened that Tuesday, or if my dates aren't mixed up, the following Tuesday, after they had treated the library for spiders. I'm wondering if they did the whole library or not. The spiders were not in. Go ahead.
If they were found after it was treated, then it was probably like hey, they got scared out of wherever they were hiding.
Oh no, these were found way before that. The treatment was before they were found, or
yeah.
Excuse me, the treatment was after they were found because they had to close the library.
Right.
The spiders were not in any public places, according to university spokeswoman Kim, excuse me on this name, Broekhuizen, and staff closed the building due to a misunderstanding out of an abundance of caution. So yes and no, I get it. I don't like spiders. No one, I mean, there's far and few between who like spiders. We can talk about preferences and dislikes, but bites by
really
these.
just depends on the spider.
Yeah, and you start talking about black widows, you start talking about wolf spiders, start talking about bird eating. I mean, how big we going on this? But bites by this spider can cause problems ranging from minor skin irritation all the way to tissue death, and that's not something you want to hear. That, according to University of Michigan Dearborn, not the Ann Arbor campus, U of M Dearborn professor Anne Danielson Francois, who identified an adult male spider that was caught in a glue trap at that library. So, I mean, she's also adding, she mentioned this to the Detroit Free Press, you're unlikely to be in any kind of danger unless you're in close contact. And I get it. I'm not one to stick my head in a spider web, but, I've seen what happens to the bugs that do. So I will keep my distance.
Yeah, I have no interest in jumping into an area full of spiders
She
on
mentions,
purpose.
though, it is worth the treatment, though, because if you're, say, a plumber crawling through a crawl space that has the spiders, you could get bit, and that could be dangerous in that case, because who knows how
That's
many
true.
times you're going to get bit or how many spiders are actually down there. I'm working on a spider problem in my own basement. I don't think I've got anything like that, but geez, that's apparently they follow people all around the world hitchhiking with people on bags and clothing and that sort of thing. They've been found in 22 U.S. states, according to
If they
Danielson
came
Facts.
from the Mediterranean, not knowing every single detail about this, but if they literally just came in,
Yeah, that's
came
assuming
over.
they came from the Mediterranean. I mean,
right, then that means they would they more likely or not were on food that got shipped over.
right. And that's like tarantulas and bananas. Just a quick look
Yep.
up, the Mediterranean recluse spider did originate in the Mediterranean region. So how the heck did it get over here? I mean, excuse
Probably
me
on
for Wikipedia.
Yeah, probably on food, honestly.
Interesting. I know I shouldn't source a site Wikipedia, but apparently you can also catch an autoimmune disorder from them too. Yee, danger. Getting back into celebrity news and danger while we're on that topic. Lady Gaga. She now refresh my memory. What did she do at the inauguration, the presidential inauguration this year? Did she sing the anthem, or what did she?
That was a good question. I do not know.
National anthem. That's what it was. She did the national anthem.
What was it? Okay.
Well, she's got some not so good news. According to Reuters, the pop superstar has to. She's put out a $500,000 reward, $500,000 reward for the return of her French bulldogs. 2 of her French bulldogs, Koji and Gustave. They were stolen in a violent altercation in L.A. that left a man fighting for his life, according to Reuters and police and a source close to the singer. She was actually in Rome filming a movie. Tell me the last time you seen Lady Gaga in a movie. I'd have to take a minute to look that up, but she was in Rome filming a movie when the dogs were stolen. She hasn't made any public comments yet, but she is putting out that reward. So if you find the dogs, good on you. But at the same time, the LAPD confirmed that the dogs were stolen at gunpoint from her 30-year-old dog walker on Sierra Bonita Avenue in Hollywood. And that was actually, that was this week. So it's recent. So
Right.
I'm hoping the dogs are still alive because they've got quite the price on them. She does have a third dog. I couldn't tell you if it's also a French bulldog or not, but her third dog, Miss Asia, escaped and was later recovered. So it's not a completely sad story. The man identified in the report, according to Reuters, was shot with a semi-automatic handgun and remains in critical condition. This is as of Wednesday, so I don't have an update on his condition. But moral of the story is, if you're going on a trip around the world, take your dogs with you. I mean, I couldn't imagine going anywhere without my pet. I don't have a pet right now, but you get my point.
I mean, there are a lot of instances where you really can't.
Right now,
Which
in this
sucks, but
in this point in history, I can see that. Exposing them to the elements, exposing them to who knows what.
right.
But it looks like this may not be the only dog theft in the area. And while I don't have an exact mile, I know they're quite a distance apart. A woman in San Francisco was also attacked by thieves brandishing guns, who took her French bulldog puppy. And in October, there was a North Carolina breeder who had 5 of their puppies taken. So what is with the French Bulldog scheme? With the French Bulldog trafficking, is that the right word? I don't know.
I feel like at this moment it'd be more like a just abduction
A
because we don't know if
ring.
they're being trafficked somewhere yet.
If there's multiple thefts, though, I don't think they're being killed. I mean, they've got to be being resold in that case. The dogs apparently are expensive dogs, going for several thousands of dollars each, and are not unheard of to be stolen. But that coming from a spokeswoman for the American Kennel Club, recommending owners refrain from posting pictures of their Frenchies on social media. They're gorgeous dogs, though. Have you seen... I'm trying to pull up a picture because the puppies of these French Bulldogs, they're just cutest thing you could ever see. They got a little smush in the face like a pug, but still. Conversation about pugs, though, that's a whole man-made conversation. Yeesh. But again, anyone who has any information, I'm not putting this out as a PSA like we did last week with Texas, but apparently Gaga has said anyone who has information can email a Gmail that was set up. It's kojiandgustavo@gmail.com. To return the pets, claim the reward, no questions asked. So that's I've seen a lot of that lately. Just a lot of, hey, just give it back. I want it back. Don't hurt them. I don't care if you're the one that took it. You know.
Right. And I kind of understand where that's coming from too, just because it's like the world is in rough shape right now.
Yeah.
People will do anything they have to survive.
You're getting into the whole stealing bread thing.
Right.
Yeah, so you got to steal the bread to survive, but hey, maybe don't steal. And then she's taking an approach to it that, assuming they return the dogs and assuming they're alive, you know, maybe it's a situation like that. Hey, I'm in a rough spot. Hey, I don't know. Let's take another angle to something cute or childish. We've actually got two kid-related stories, kinda. Let's start with Mr. Potato Head, or the artist formerly known as Mr. Potato Head. According to the Associated Press and many other outlets at this point, because it's been a hot potato. Let's put it that way. Hasbro has renamed Mr. Potato Head. It is no longer Mr. Potato Head. The brand is just Potato Head. Apparently on Twitter, they've already put out, because of backlash from frustrated people, that they are still making Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head, but the brand will be just Potato Head. And it's there's a lot of people just getting upset because they're dropping the Mr. What's your comments on this?
Overall, I would say that, yeah, a lot of people grew up with Mr. Potato Head or Mrs. Potato Head, but the whole idea of the potato head was to put your own like pieces onto it.
Yeah.
So already it's something that it doesn't necessarily need to be one or the other. It could be a mixture of anything in between. And if Hasbro's going to go ahead and, with the potato head idea and just put all the pieces into a single package, then I think that's a great thing, because then it actually branches out to more people in general.
Yeah, it opens up your market.
Exactly.
To put it in a different way.
It also allows people to save money because they don't have to buy 2 Mr. Potato Head or Mrs. Potato Head figures.
Now
they can just get everything all in one spot.
That's a different thought, because, like I was saying, Hasbro said they were still selling Mr. Potato Head just under the Potato Head brand. So that's like going into like Barbie and G.I. Joe and all the accessories that they could come with. Oh, well, I need the mustache. Oh, I need the heels. I need the this, that, and the other.
Right.
I don't. That's a different tangent completely than I was going to go.
So, like, Marketing wise, they could totally make it
Well, they
so,
do whatever they want.
the base starter set comes with a few pieces of,
Both. Who
both
knows?
Mr. and Mrs. And then they could sell like just extra packages of like,
Yeah.
hey, you want these? Oh, you want those? Like, marketing, it's a great idea.
And a lot of people
And
that were
it does
for the
include a whole lot
change,
of more people. So
a lot of people that were for the change were saying that it's a great step forward for a lot of the people in the LGBTQ community. The say the is it gender fluid? I'm trying to use the right terms in this case, gender fluid or maybe non-binary or. But I actually had a friend of mine in that community who said potatoes were never, they were never a one or two choice option. I mean, again, it's a joke. I understand it, and a lot of people just mentioning it as a joke. I mean, mashed potatoes, scalloped potatoes, French fries. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with potatoes. So they were never a one or two sort of option thing. And to make a thing about a toy really as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, oh, it has to be Mr. Potato Head. It's a toy. It was made in the Depression.
You're aiming it towards children, and they need to learn like more about themselves, more about the world. Like,
the kids need to be able to design it however the heck they want. And correct me if I'm wrong. The toy itself was made was it in the Depression about 100 years ago? I mean, it says 70 at least on this article by the AP, but yeah, it says availability 1952 to present. So it was a toy originally that people were just sticking little toys on, to little eyes and a fake little nose on, to an actual potato from a sack. So it's a potato. Regardless of which side of the argument you're on, it's a potato.
Yeah.
And they are tasty. Yes. I really, I wanted to be very ginger on that one because I didn't want to upset anyone in that community. But let's shift over to a different, also kind of touchy kids topic. Disney Plus is warning viewers before watching episodes of The Muppet Show. They put a offensive content warning on a couple of episodes. The Muppets being now part of Disney Plus. I don't remember how that happened. Were they part of Fox, or were they just Disney owned in the first place, or what?
I want to say they were. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which ones were Muppets.
I don't know. Muppets was Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy and
yeah.
According to CNN Business, Disney Plus is warning
first.
people about about some episodes. There were 120 episodes for the variety show, for the Muppet Show, the original Muppet Show, not the stuff they're remaking now without Jim Henson. 120 episodes in the 70s featuring puppets, interacting with celebrity guests at times, and that's where the issue comes in. You look at an episode hosted by Johnny Cash, country star, right? He performing in front of the U.S. flag and the Confederate battle flag, apparently. That, as of recently, has been a bigger topic, trying to bring attention to that. And I will give it to Disney, instead of pulling the episode or instead of scrapping the episode, it's like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what happened. People are going to be upset about this too, of course, though. There was another episode.
It's much better to do it that way, in my opinion. Just like how...
they had it
Warner
on
Brothers did it with
movies.
like the Looney Tunes stuff like that, where they put on there like, hey, this is not good by today's standards.
Not by today's standards.
It was a different time, but we don't want to alter it because that would just take away the importance of what it was.
There's other shows and movies on Disney Plus that have this warning. It's not unheard of. It's not a new thing. You look at Dumbo. They had there was a racist depiction of some crows, I thought, or maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. That's one. You got Peter Pan with the depiction of Native Americans. That's another one that they put the warning before. It's not a new thing. Disney Plus is almost a year and a half old, right? I could be off on that age, but there were apparently some other episodes that they flagged during the Muppet Show. Another episode featured folk star Joan Baez. Is it Baez doing an Indian accent while opening to an episode with Kenny Rogers. There were some Muppets dressed in Arab garb drilling for oil. Now, you want to hit the racist nail on the head. okay. Apparently, there's also a disclaimer on the aristocrats with the Siamese cats, or was it people? Or there were either some Asian people or the Siamese cats. I thought that were. Was that it?
More than likely, it was the cats.
I can't remember where the cats were from, if that was from there or not. But I thought there was a Willie Nelson episode too, but I doubt that they put that up for some weed. No. We've managed to squeak Tesla into the last couple of episodes, and why change now? Tesla, in my opinion, isn't as dated as a specific football game like the Super Bowl. Let's talk something from Business Insider. There's a $4,500 electric car reportedly outselling Tesla's Model 3 in China by almost a 2-to-1 margin. This again from Business Insider. State-owned Chinese automaker SAIC Motor, massively outselling Tesla in China, selling for 28,800 yuan. Is that the right? Or about $4,465. And
so $4,400, like $4,000?
$4,465 for an electric vehicle. Now they've said
Sign
the
me up, I
car,
want one.
it doesn't have the same standards as a Tesla. It's a 4-seat car, which is nice. Top speed 62 miles an hour. Estimated cruising range 120 miles. Okay.
All right.
You get what you pay for. And you know what? Yeah. With my commute lately, I would say I would be in on that.
Same.
I can't say about a state-owned automaker. That's a bit different, but you know, the car itself, I mean, $4,500 for a car that gets 60 miles an hour, 120 miles per top up. Now, what I wonder,
most spots that I would have to drive, I wouldn't have to go more than 60 miles an hour.
Even from my house to your house, it's just that's not 120 miles. We can do that 10 times.
Approximately, yeah.
Probably still make some trips to the gas station or something. I don't know. We wouldn't need gas.
Right.
But
your electric bill would go up a little bit
significantly,
more, so
yeah.
That'd be kind of crappy.
It would. But at the same time, $4,500 for that versus $60,000 for a Tesla. And you know what?
Oh, yeah.
Call me crazy, but I was looking at prices of used Teslas just for, you know, giggles and kicks.
What did you find out?
Oh, they're still expensive.
Yeah.
It's apparently the best.
You can get a really old Nissan Leaf.
Yeah.
For less than $10,000.
I haven't heard very good things about those, though, in particular. Those and the original series of Chevy Bolts, B-O-L-T. Just a bit more on the SAIC Motors, S-A-I-C. Oh, and the car itself, it's called the Hongguang Minis. Hongguang Minis, like a Mini Cooper sort of thing. I guarantee you, even with 4 seats in there, you're not fitting my big behind in there. They sold 25,778 models, or what's the word? Units. That's the word. As opposed to 13,843 Tesla Model 3s, and apparently the two are number 1 and number 2 for worldwide electric car sales. It would be the second best electric car in the world, selling electric car in the world, according to the BBC. Still, that's not bad. 60 miles an hour, 120 mile distance. That gets you most places. Let's wrap it up with our sports real quick. It's not much of sports because it isn't sports for the most part. It takes skill. I'll give it that. The Scripps National Spelling
competition related.
It is. Scripps National Spelling Bee will be returning this year. I swear, I thought they canceled last year. This year, the in-person competition going to be very limited. A dozen finalists will be gathering on an ESPN campus in Walt Disney World in Florida. So, good. Good to see some things returning to normal.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again.
Didn't expect it to be that. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Rick Antonio. You've been listening to Rick Antonio's News Talk Report. Thanks again to Tyler CK for stopping by. You can find us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a couple other places. We're on Spotify and Anchor now. So, thanks again. Have a great night.